Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming and Axiom Games LLC. Guys, and girls, I'm so excited. It is here. Today is the release date of Single Mod, an Axiom Games TTRPG system. So, to celebrate it, and for the next couple of weeks, what I want to do is, for all those people who are going to be on the fence about this game, who are kind of be like, oh, do I want to get this? Do I want to get into another TTRPG system? Basically, what I want to do is take you through kind of like a tour of the game, so to speak, and its different functions, its different systems, and how it works. No, I'm not going to be showing you everything in it, but I am going to just kind of like go through some of the systems so you have an idea of how it plays and how it works. And of course, if you're using this as a tutorial or something like that, and you did buy the system and you're kind of like, I don't know what to do, just comment below, let me know. You can also reach out to me on Twitter, Facebook, or the Discord or anything, and I can tell you how it works if something is eluding you. But today, we got to go through the most important thing, right? The most important thing, which is character creation. Before that, I do want to just go ahead and say that this game right now, if you want to buy it, is on itch.io. Just search Single Mod to get a copy, just like the little text above me says. And it's only 42 pages. The maximum book is only 42 pages. That includes the cover, as well as a bunch of like basic starting weapon equipment tables kind of thing. The system itself is only about 32 pages. It's very simple. It's rules light, but it also has kind of some deep build mechanics that might get you really into it. So it's very easy to make a character, but it's complex to make something in depth, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, as previously mentioned, the only dice you're going to need, this is rules light, so the only dice you're going to need is a d20. That is it. Just a d20, period. There's simplicity of rolls was kind of what I was going for in this. However, we're not going to need a dice for the character creation. Also, at the back of the book, you will find a character sheet. You can print it out at your leisure and use it. However, I'm not going to use a character sheet today because I want to show you how easy and quick it is to make a character, so that I'm going to put it on just an index card. That's right, just an index card. And this way you'll get an idea, especially for you game masters out there who hate when somebody has to like go off the trail and meet an NPC that you didn't have planned for. Just say, give me 5, you'll make a character, and you'll be ready to go. All right, so I've written down on my little index card, excuse my handwriting, it's pretty terrible, the 6 stats that are involved in the game, just abbreviations for each. Force, agility, endurance, intelligence, perception, charisma. So what do these do? Quick descriptions. Force is for attacking and dealing damage. It's everything offensive that your character does. Agility is defense and reaction time and speed. It is movement, as well as everything defensive that your character does. Endurance is your ability to keep going, your ability to keep fighting, and of course, your soak, your damage reduction when in combat. Intelligence helps you buy skills, as well as gives you certain intelligence-based rolls. Perception gives you awareness. It's how well you interpret the world around you and how aware you are about what's going on. Your ability to maybe spot lies and whatnot. And then, of course, charisma is your ability to manipulate people, your ability to seduce people, your ability, your charm, and your grace of person. And just for reference, you can actually see those stats. I'm kind of bringing the pages up on the side if you want to kind of look at them as well. And so we're going to go through these stats real quick and build them. So for a standard-based character, now this is an easily moddable and homebrew-friendly game, so you might want to change these kind of things. But what you need to understand about the stats is they go from 1 to 5. That's it, 1 to 5, all right? 1 being good. You're good. You're at least average. Whereas 5 is you are among the best at the thing that you are doing on the entirety of the planet, bar none. So 5s are very rare and very hard to get, whereas everybody has a 1 in it. So I've named him Mr. Example for everybody out there, little Mr. Example. So for Mr. Example, I'm going to put some stuff into the building. Now, one thing you have to also keep in mind, there are these things called perks, which are integral to the building of the character, like the build out of your character and what your character is going to do in combat, what your character is going to do in the game, and the roles that he has. So this guy, I kind of want him to be a talker. I like talkers. I usually play kind of like more intelligence-based talkers in games lately. So I'm going to go ahead. Now, first of all of these stats start at 1, period, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I'm just going to do hash marks because it'll show up on the camera a little bit easier. But again, you can do numbers. It's totally fine. So they all start at 1. Well, they have to have a 1. You have 12 points to put into your 6 stats, and they have to start at 1. So you got everything at 1, and then you can place in 6 more points where you want them. So let me do that now. I think for this guy, we're going to give him a charisma of 3. And again, the perks don't come into play until your stats or skills get above a level, a 3 or higher in their stat. 1s and 2s don't get you perks. So we're going to get that 3 charisma. Then we're going to go 2 in perception, 2 in intelligence. So we got 2 more points to spend. Let's go ahead and go 2 in agility. He's going to be fast, so that so that he's pretty squishy if you hit him, and he doesn't do a lot of damage or attack, but he's pretty good at dodging and being very slippery. So there we go. That's how easy the stats are, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, boom, boom. We do have a couple of perks right there from the agility and the charisma, which we'll get in later into the perks section. But already you can see how easy and quick this system goes. So let's go ahead and get into the skills. All right, so next up is skills. So for skills, for a starting character, the first step is you get to pick 5 skills at level 1, because it's much more expensive in this game, and I think in real life, to get a skill that you've never ever trained in and never ever known than to get better at a skill you already know. So one of the highest point values for experience points, and of course the starting experience points you get to build your character, is for buying a skill with 0. So you get 5 skills at level 1 just for free. Just for free. You get to pick them all at level 1. So I'm going to go through, and obviously you won't be able to see all the skills here. I'm just going to go through, but you can see the skill list on the document right here to your side. He's charisma based, so we're definitely going to take manipulation right off the bat. Got that manipulation. I think he's going to have linguistics. I like the idea of him being a talker, but not just a talker. And he gets in the ability to speak other languages and learn other languages. And then we're going to also pull... Tough decision. We're going to pull merchant, which is another skill. And then we need to give him at least 1 combat skill so he can kind of dodge and defend. And I'll get into that in a second. But I really like the idea of him having stealth. So we'll give him stealth at level 1. And then I also like the ability of his weapon is a ranged weapon. It fits more with the feel of him being an agility-based character. So those are my starting 5. Now you're probably wondering, what do skills do in this game? How do they work? Okay, so let me go ahead and get into that. Every skill is associated with a stat. That is for the purposes of buying perks later. But the skills are also kind of limited in this game. And again, this is a homebrewer's dream, so feel free to add skills if you're building a world and it doesn't cover it. But the idea behind these skills, sorry about all that noise, that's my dog being absolutely crazy, and I can't cut it now that I'm recording it. But feel free to add whatever you want, put whatever you want in. Just keep in mind that the idea of these skills is that they are very wide bases of knowledge, and then your ability in the skill is how much you know about the entirety of it. So let's pick one. Let's pick the ranged weapons, okay? So I'm just going to read you this description. Maybe you'll kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. This represents the character's knowledge and ability in all manner of aimed and projectile weapons that are not thrown. Those are technically melee weapons. This is used when making ranged attacks. Having a 1 in this means the character would know a good amount about a type of weapon of weapon that they are trained in, while a 5 would mean that the character is versed and understands any and all projectile weapons on a core level. So what this means is, let's say your character was raised to shoot a pistol. His dad took him out shooting. He had some old revolver, and they would go out shooting every weekend. So he or she is good with that revolver. And that would give them a skill in firearms, meaning they have a basic understanding of what firearms do and how they work, but they're not necessarily going to know what to do with like an AK-47 or a laser rifle or something like that. However, they might understand just how to basically fire one or use one just because of that knowledge with the revolver. And this is kind of how the skills work. It's more like your circle of knowledge about the thing. And that brings into one of the most interesting things about play, which is kind of knowing what you have later. And I'm going to go ahead and go into it now, since I think it's pertinent to character creation. But with the skill system in this, when you run into something that you've never met before, but it is kind of covered by a skill, you get to make a knowledge roll to kind of figure out... well, not just a knowledge roll, I'm sorry. It is called a knowledge roll, but it's not knowledge. You use the skill and the intelligence stat. Basically what you do is you get to roll to see if you can figure out how to use it, or if you have had experience with it in the past. So skills kind of become a role-playing device instead of just a straight statistical bonus, basically. So in the example I was giving earlier with the person who shot on the weekends with their father and the revolver, if they ran into an AK-47 and had to use it, they would have to make that firearms / intelligence roll with a difficulty of how rare or awkward it would be to them. And if they passed it, they would be able to use the weapon. They'd be like, oh, I kind of understand this, or maybe one day at the range they were able to shoot that weapon with somebody else or see how it shot. Whereas if they failed it, they'd be like, I don't know how to use this gun, and they wouldn't be able to use their firearm skill with it. So that's one of the more interesting aspects of the skills in this game, is that you really have to think about how much does your character know about the certain subject, not necessarily how proficient they are in it. Does it give a bonus to proficiency? Sure, but this is kind of a role player's sort of system, so you have to really think about what it is that your character does, or the character that you're building does. That being said, I've got my first 5 characters. Now what you get to do for a starting character is you got to drop 15 experience points, which has some interesting purchase costs on them. So what I'm going to be doing is purchasing. I don't want to purchase any new skills. These are going to be my starting 5 skills, because to purchase a skill from 0 to level 1 costs 10 experience points minus the character's intelligence score. My intelligence is a 2, as we covered at the beginning of this video. So I would have to spend 8 points to get a new skill at a level 1. And you only get 15 to start at the first level. So those 5 level 1 stats are imperative to the entirety of the character. I'm sorry, 5 level 1 skills are imperative to the character. So what you then want to do is you want to take them from 1 to 2, and then possibly 2 to 3, depending. Each one of those is a 6 minus your intelligence score. So I'll give you an example. My stealth is right now a 1. I want to get that up to a 3. I want that to be one of my core things. I want him to be a little bit more like a sweet-talking rogue. So we're going to go to 3 on stealth. 1 to 2 is 6 minus my intelligence. That's 4. 2 to 3 is 6 minus my intelligence. That's also 4. That brings me to an 8. I've just spent 8 experience points right there, and I have 7 left to spend. Now, if I wanted to take something up to a 4, which, remember, skills only go to 5 too, just like stats. So it's very small, and 5s and 4s are incredibly rare. Like, you're talking about super professionals at this. Like, Michael Jordan is a 5 at basketball. Like, that kind of level. So we're at a 3 right now. I'm okay with that. Plus, skills also, anything at a level 3 or higher is going to give you a perk. So I'm going to get another agility perk from that. So that brings me down to 7 points. All of the rest of these have 1. I really want my manipulation to go up by 1. So we're going to pump that to a 2. I actually think I can't pump that to a 3 because I don't have enough. So I'm going to pump that to a 2. That'll be another 4 points, which takes me right up to 12 points. So I have 5 more points to spend. And I am going to go ahead and purchase a 2nd level in linguistics. And then merchant and ranged will be at level 1. I know what you're wondering. Hey, you got 1 experience point left over. Well, you can also dump all of your experience points into vitality, which is your overall standing health. You can die on a dime in this. We'll get into all of this in a combat video later on down the road. But vitality is, if you don't die from the shot instantaneously, this is how much health you can take before you just kind of slump over and fall over. It starts at 30 for all characters, but you can buy it on a 1-for-1 basis with experience points. So I'm going to put his vitality up to a 31 just to spend that extra point, be flat, and done. So there you go. Now I've got skills. We're only at 15 minutes right now, and I'm taking a really long time explaining things to you. So we've got 2 in manipulation, 2 in linguistics, 1 in merchant, 3 in stealth, 1 in ranged. So now we get to pick perks. Perks, everything in perks is 3, 4, and 5. And you get a perk for each one of those numbers. So if you have a stat at 3, you get a perk. If that same stat goes up to 4, you get another perk. However, you have to pick the perks from the perk list related to the stat. Same with the skill. So whatever the skill is related to is where you get the perks. So, for example, I have an agility of 3. I also have a stealth of 3. Stealth is an agility-based skill. So now I have 2 perks in agility. I'll flip over to my back of my index card here. Just put perks. 2 agility-based perks, right? Then we've got charisma is at a level 3. And my manipulation is only, I don't have another thing at level 3. So charisma, we're just going to get that 1 charisma-based perk. Okay? So that's how many perks we have. So now I get to pick the perks, which is the fun part. These are powers that you can use with momentum. Again, we'll explain that later in base play and combat. Or are just some standard basic bonus that you get. So for agility, we've got a bunch of things here that we can use. A lot of them have to do with combat, and we don't really have a combat character, but this is interesting. He's going to be very mobile. So I'm going to actually give him fleet-footed. That increases his ability to move. This character is incredibly fast and light on the feet. When making a movement action in combat, the character is considered to have an agility of 1 higher. This can go above 5 for the purposes of distance. In addition, on any skill check that involves movement other than climbing or jumping, the character has a +2 to their single mod. So, hey, that's going to give me a little bonus there. And then we got a stealth-based character here, so we're going to take light steps. Characters with this have trained how to move without making noise. Characters with this have a +2 to any stealth or silent move check. So, light steps. So those are my 2 agility perks. Now I get to pick a charisma perk. I know exactly which one I want. There's a lot of fun charisma perks. I'm going to take companion, which basically forces the game master to make an NPC companion based on the roles here. That could be a dog, could be a bodyguard, something along those lines. But somebody who fights for me, basically, which is really exciting. And then we kind of, that's it. That's the entire perk system. And guess what, guys? That's your entire character right there. That's it. That's all that goes into it. Now, I've almost completely described the system. We're only at 18 minutes. Think of how fast this is once you've done it once or twice. I can make a character. I could belt out a character now in about 10 minutes. So that's one of the cool things about this system is not only do you have an interesting build, some interesting build mechanics to it, but it's fast, it's easy. It's a game master or homebrewer's dream. Trust me. Everything is open. I mean, even here. So one thing I forgot to mention in the skills section, there's only 5 skills listed in the game for each different stat. But here, you can actually notice on the character sheet that we submitted, you can see that we left some spots open if you wanted to add your own skills in to whatever world you created. Like I said, this game is made for a homebrewer, made for GMs to just make worlds easy and quick and fun to play. and that is character creation in a nutshell. I've got everything right there except for equipment, and that's really between you and the game master, however you want to do it. And just think about how easy and quick that is, and it fits on an index card. Just to let you know, I've been running a game in this for a while. These are all the NPCs right there. I keep it in a little index card box. So yeah, so hopefully that helps you out with character creation. We are going to be releasing some more of these videos over the next couple of weeks, just giving you more tours on the game. I think the next one we're going to do is base play pre-combat, so just giving you an idea of what single mod is when you're rolling it, how you're rolling it, and what it means to do skill and stat checks and stuff like that. And then we'll have a meaty one for combat, maybe another one for experience. But yeah, I'm really excited to have this out there. If this interests you, if this is something you want to buy, it is only $6. It's on itch.io. Go to Google, go into the little address bar, type itch.io, and then when you get to the website, in the search bar, search single mod. I'm the first game that comes up. You will 100% see our cover picture right there. You can't miss it. Axiom Games system. I'm also going to put a link in the description below to make it easier for you guys to really go and purchase it and play it. If you have any questions, comments, ask me. You can ask me on Itch. You can ask me anywhere. I'm happy to answer it. I'm really excited for this to be out there. This system is really the culmination of 42 years of role-playing gaming, and this is just the way I like to play games. So hopefully there's some of you out there who have been waiting for a system like this, as cheap as this is. Again, only $6. So keep a lookout. Next time we're going to do base play. I'm really excited about it. I'm enjoying these tours, and I'm excited this is out in the world. You can also check out, probably by now, a review on wizardsrespot.com that covers single mod, and see what somebody else says about it, not just me, the creator of it. So we will see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching.